political vigilance who seem to have taken the law in their own hands. The ground reality paints a grim picture. Where is the police? Why is the government failing to rein in these goons? Let's debate.
From a language issue to a WhatsApp status or a minor argument, Maharashtra has witnessed spate of hooliganism incidents over anything and everything. In Mumbai's Vikhroli, a Rajasthani shopkeeper was assaulted by MNS workers over a WhatsApp status insulting Marathi-speaking people. MNS workers reached at his shop, confronted him and physically assaulted him. They demand a public apology to the entire Marathi community. While the Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has assured action.
देखिए, मीरा रोड की घटना के तुरंत बाद एफआईआर भी दाखिल हुआ और कार्रवाई भी हुई है। इस प्रकार से कोई भाषा के आधार पर गुंडागर्दी करेंगे तो हमारी सरकार उनको छोड़ेगी नहीं, उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई करेगी। मैं वापस कह रहा हूँ, स्वभाषा का अभिमान होना चाहिए, मातृभाषा का अभिमान होना चाहिए, पर उसको आगे करके अगर कोई गुंडागर्दी करेगा तो सहन नहीं किया जाएगा।
This is neither the first nor an isolated incident. Just days ago in Mira Road area of Thane district, a food stall owner was allegedly beaten up for not speaking Marathi. In Thane's Bhivandi, MNS forced a non-Marathi rickshaw driver to apologize after a scuffle broke out between him and a Marathi youth.
एक पण महाराष्ट्रीय माणसाला हात लागला नाही पाहिजे, नाही तर हा हात तुझ्या कुठे लटकेल.
The rickshaw driver was threatened that if you try to touch a Marathi youth in future, then see where your hands will go. This hooliganism is neither restricted to a particular party nor reason. A few days back, Shiv Sena MLA Sanjay Gaikwad hurled abuses and slapped canteen staff in Mumbai over stale food. When asked on the same, he brazenly said that when someone fails to understand democratic language, then I have to use this language only. No action has been taken against him yet, despite assurances by the Chief Minister. MNS workers vandalized Tongaon Toll Plaza on Akola Nanded Highway. The reason? Lack of facilities. And this video of an MNS leader, Javed Sheikh's son, has been going viral even now. Watch how half-naked, fully drunk on power and alcohol, how this VVIP brat, Rahil Sheikh, allegedly hits a woman's car and harassed her.
तुम्ही लोक मराठी शिकवता रे लोकांना?
माझा बाप महाराष्ट्र राज्य उपाध्यक्ष आहे.
तुझा बाप महाराष्ट्राचा अध्यक्ष आहे. कोण? मनसेवाले. अच्छा, आणि तू दारू पिऊन माझ्या गाडीवर चढणार, गाडी ठोकणार. अच्छा, तुम्हाला शिव्या देतोयस? हा, गदे शिव्या दे. गाडीला ठोकलं. तू माझ्या गाडीला का ठोकलं?
ताई माफ कर.
माफ? तू आता बोललास माझा बाप कोण आहे मला?
अरे मी
थोडासा परप्रांती लोकांना धमकी देतोयस तू मला?
माफ करा ना.
माफी नकोय. तू दारू पिऊन गाडी का चालवतोय? तू दारू पिऊन गाडी का चालवतोय?
किती झाली?
Why are political vigilantes taking over law and order? Why is the government and police letting goons take over cities?
And Sanju Verma stays back on this debate tonight. Krishna Hegde, Deputy Leader and Spokesperson of the Shiv Sena, joins us. Also, Chandrasekhar Jha, Shiv Sena UBT spokesperson, joins us on the debate, and so does senior journalist Pankaj Sharma. Let me begin this debate by going to Chandrasekhar Jha. Chandrasekhar ji, let me say Jai Maharashtra, Jai Marathi. And if I could just ask you, because this is for all our viewers, when are we celebrating the Marathi Bhasha Gaurav Divas?
Let me tell you very frankly, the state is continuously failing to control the violence which is taking place in Maharashtra. Even yesterday also, one journalist was targeted. So eventually the state is giving assurance but could not take any damage control
Mr.
on
Jha,
this.
I said I want to begin this debate by saying Jai Marathi, Jai Maharashtra. And I want to ask you, when is the Marathi Bhasha Gaurav Divas celebrated in Maharashtra?
See, I don't know the exact date. I should admit that.
You do not know
Eventually-
the exact date when the pride of Marathi language is celebrated in Maharashtra and official days been designated. But you want all non-Marathis to speak in Marathi, and if they do not know Marathi, they will be beaten up. Their shops will be vandalized. They will be threatened. And this is all happening in Maharashtra. And since you're part of UBT, you will have to take onus for what MNS Goons are doing. Because now both the brothers are on the same platform. Who takes onus, Mr. Jha?
The onus is on the state to stop it.
The onus is
And-
on the state. It's
Yes.
not on the goons who are threatening and actually vandalizing shops. It's not on them.
These actions are being taken upon provocation or some kind of insult to the Marathi language. And if those actions are there, the state should
Mr.
also take
Jha,
action.
this
in-
is
in
precisely
procedure.
why I asked you that the party that is speaking of Marathi Gaurav is talking about the pride of Marathi language, does not know when the the Gaurav Divas is celebrated, but they want all non-Marathis to be speaking in Marathi in Maharashtra. If they do not, and that does not mean that they are not respecting Marathi. It just means that they do not know the language. That they will be threatened. The episode that has happened now, Sanju, if I come to you, why are you letting the goons take all this place, all the prominence? They're everywhere. They're threatening people. They're beating them up. What is the state government doing? What is the BJP doing?
Okay, Sucharita, I'm glad you asked me that. And without trying to be politically correct, I am sitting here on live TV and saying I condemn what scuffle took place between the goons of Jitendra Awad and Gopi Chand Padalkar. I condemn the language used by Sanjay Gaikwad. I also condemn the antics of half-drunk and fully naked Rahil Javed Sheikh, son of MNS leader. So I'm not going to be using different yardsticks for different netas. But the fact of the matter is this, and by the way, I don't have access to Google currently, but 27th February is Marathi Bhasha Divas. And let me tell Mr. Jha one thing. You cannot selectively condemn MNS because some of their senior leaders, and I'm going to take names.
Sanju, the government cannot condemn. They need to take action. If you sitting
Yes,
there and
yes.
condemning it,
Action.
who's going to take the
Absolutely.
action? You're just going to condemn. And the action will be
Absolutely.
taken by somebody
No,
else.
Absolutely. No, Sucharita, let me finish. I'm coming to that. Like I said, the uncomfortable truth will not be shoved under the carpet. Yes, law and order
hope
is
so.
a state subject. And Devendra Fadnavis, by virtue of being the Chief Minister and the Home Minister of Maharashtra, has assured not once, not twice, but umpteen times that he will take action and do the needful, and the
He will
culprits
take
will not be
action.
allowed
He
to
has
get
assured.
away,
But where
irrespective
is the
of their
action?
political ideology.
Where is the action?
Devendra Fadnavis has said it in as many words. When the chief minister has assured, I don't think anybody else needs to sit and second guess. But very quickly, Sucharita, you know,
But
Mr.
it's all
Jha,
going on, Sanju. It's
his
not
colleague-
stopping. Every day an incident like this comes up. We are waiting for the action to happen.
Okay.
And here Mr. Jha is saying the onus is on the government. You're saying we're condemning it but not taking
Sucharita,
action.
let me just finish. Sucharita, let me please finish. I am coming to that. Barely 6 to 7 hours back today, Mr. Fadnavis was asked two questions. A, will action be taken against goons, irrespective of what their party affiliation is? He said yes. B, he was asked, will the three-language formula be applied? He said yes. All I know is it will be applied in toto, but I can't say whether the three-language formula will be applied from class 1, class 3 or class 6. We are waiting for the Narendra Jadhav committee's recommendations. These two things have been stated a few hours back by the Chief Minister of
No,
Maharashtra,
Sanju.
but very
Sanju,
quickly,
no.
Sucharita,
Sanju, you're waiting. No.
Sucharita.
What I'm trying to say is, you're saying it won't be brushed under the carpet, but you're doing exactly that. You can wait for recommendations to come, you can wait for reports to come, but action needs to be taken now. If we see an incident happening every day, this instills a fear in the minds of people who are non-Marathis, who do not know the language. And I don't know why this is happening. Now, Pankaj Sharma, if I'll just go across to him.
want to
Sanju, I'll come back to you. Let me just come back to you. Mr. Sharma, all I'm saying is there are people from different regions of the country who are staying in Maharashtra. Now the MNS goons are on a rampage. They want to threaten, they want to beat up people. As now, Raj Thackeray and Uddhav Thackeray being on the same platform, I don't know if I can call them now. Raj Thackeray also somebody who's in alliance with now the Congress party as well, because he's with Uddhav now. What is happening? Why is the Congress party not speaking against it? Why are they so afraid of speaking against MNS, speaking against the UBT netas?
Because MNS is responsible. The
Yes, to speak
hooliganism in
against
the
it.
name of any language must be curbed by the governments of any political party in any state, including Maharashtra. See, this rowdyism by MNS workers, the violence, the verbal abuse should not be tolerated. How can MNS or anyone for that matter claim the ownership of Bombay or Maharashtra or on the Marathi language? See, I am not a Marathi speaking man, but I have read the translated works of Sant Gyaneshwar, Sant Tukaram, Sant Eknath, Sant Ramdas, Vishnu Sakharam Chandekar, Pulu Deshpande, Ranjit Desai, Vranda Karandikar, even Anna Bhav Sathe, Daya Pawar, Babu Rao Bakul. So those who are beating,
condemn
humiliating,
MNS, no?
pressing,
Please condemn
compelling
Uddhav Thackeray.
non-Marathi
Uddhav Thackeray
speaking
is a
people
body
to
now
apologize
of
on the
Rahul Gandhi.
streets, BJP is involved.
No, but
They are able
Uddhav
to
Thackeray is
do it.
backing them, no?
They are able
Rahul
to
Gandhi
do
Uddhav
it.
Thackeray is backing them
BJP is
in a
promoting
public,
them.
in a
BJP is promoting
in a
them.
public
BJP is
platform,
involved.
coming
Rahul
on
Gandhi
stage
is
together
involved.
and saying, if I want to defend Marathi, if they call me a gunda, I'm ready to be a gunda. If they say this, if they think that I'm a gunda, then I will be called a gunda, is what he's saying. So what does that mean? You're standing with Raj Thackeray and you're saying this, and you know the background. So what are you trying to insinuate? You're trying to tell people that if you're not going to speak in Marathi, this is the beating you're going to get.
And why can't Congress
Mr. Sharma.
condemn Uddhav Thackeray? ऐसी क्या मजबूरी है आपकी, Mr. Sharma? राहुल गांधी और उद्धव ठाकरे की दोस्ती इतनी
If
ज्यादा
Uddhav
होगी
Thackeray is
कि आज राहुल
prompting
गांधी
this,
उद्धव
promoting
ठाकरे
this,
को
he should
condemn
also
करते
be
हैं।
दोस्ती
taken
तो
to
बीजेपी और
task.
एमएनएस
But
की
the
भी
fact
थी।
is, BJP is involved. BJP is prompting. BJP is promoting.
First you condemn
No,
Uddhav
because-
Thackeray's goons.
They
I have
have
done that.
no relation to
Condemn
Marathi
Raj
culture.
Thackeray's
Okay.
gundas. I have done
They
that.
have no respect
Devendra
for Marathi
Fadnavis has
language.
also condemned Uddhav Thackeray and Raj Thackeray's
No,
gundas, and
the
also said if
BJP is
someone
promoting
from
is the
BJP
allegation.
engages in
The BJP
vandalism,
is promoting is the
उसपर भी
allegation.
होगी।
Krishna Hegde, Mr. Hegde, the BJP is promoting and Shiv Sena, Shinde wants to be part of that because there are BMC elections. So your own minister speaks against you, saying that MNS people are allowed to, if non-Marathis can stage a protest, why not MNS? So the minister is siding with MNS now. What is happening in Maharashtra? Mr. Hegde?
Let me tell you that Shiv Sena was formed to fight for the rights of the Marathi Manus and also the Hindus. And therefore, that is the ideology. This is the ideology, which was from our founder we have received, Sanmanya Hindu Hriday Samrat Bala Sahib Thackeray ji. However, having said that, let me tell you that if any incident of some kind has happened in our party, our party pramukh, top leader, Eknath Shinde ji, has clearly in the national executive spoken to all ministers, all MLAs and all leaders of the party that such incidents should not be repeated. Otherwise, they are going to take stern action and it may even cost them their jobs.
Sir, when will there...
All lip service.
Sir,
No.
after which
that,
incident are you
Sucharita,
going to
after
say that... Now,
No,
there have
you
been
have
so
given
many
a-
incidents, sir.
You have
MNS
given
workers vandalized a toll plaza. MNS workers assaulted a
We are not
shopkeeper in
part of
Erol,
the MNS,
Navi
please.
Mumbai for
We are
not
not.
conversing in Marathi. MNS
I'm
goons
telling
assaulted
you-
a chemist in Pune for allegedly disrespecting Marathi language.
Sucharita,
Language
let me
imposition
complete
and...
first.
No, what I'm
Please
trying
let
to
me
say,
complete.
so many incidents and you're still
First,
saying we will not tolerate it.
No. First, let me tell you what our party leader has told us and told us firmly.
Yes.
Secondly, let me come to the government stance and the government view on this. Wherever cases have been lodged, people have been arrested, and where the persons who have not lodged any cases, there we cannot take any action because cases have not been registered. Now let me come
No,
to the
do you
MNS
think they will be in a
action.
position to
Let me-
register an FIR?
Let me
Mr. Hegde, now this is another, this is another debate point. Mr. Hegde, you're saying we cannot take action where a case has not been registered. No, Mr. Hegde, you've got to listen to this. Mr. Hegde, where the shopkeeper is seen holding his ears, he's apologizing on camera. He's being forced to apologize. Do you think he will be in a position to go to the police and put in an FIR?
Let me come to this incident in Vikhroli, which happened.
Okay.
The shopkeeper had a WhatsApp status where he was provoking and taunting the Marathi Manus. And
Yes.
therefore, the MNS workers reached his shop. They asked him to hold his ears and apologize. And over that, he was walking barefoot on the street. Now tell me which section can be put on this. It is either humiliation, but he has not got beaten. At the most, a NC, a non-cognizable offence can be registered in this matter and no FIR can be registered. Firstly, we should also study the law. Thirdly, let me tell you, even their leader, Raj Thackeray ji, has told them that they should not get into provocation and beat up people. Only if it is a serious thing that then they can, for an action, they can give a reaction. But for any agitation, which is in the state, if the agitation has to be controlled,
Mr.
it will
Hegde,
take
are
some
you
time to
providing
subside.
a defense for Raj
Sucharita,
Thackeray
can I
now?
quickly come in, please?
Are
I
you
am
putting
not
in a
providing,
defense for Raj
I'm
Thackeray
not
now?
providing- I'm
You're
not
saying
providing-
that even
I
Raj
said that-
Thackeray has told them, then don't get into a provocation. So you're trying
Yes,
to
sir,
give
it
in
is
a
there on
defense
the
for
public
Raj Thackeray.
No, it is there on a public platform where he has said, but however, our
No, so he's
Chief Minister
also
has
said this, that he's also said that beat people up, but don't make a video. Let them go out and tell people that they were beaten. He said that also.
No. For that, our government, Mahayuti government, and our Chief Minister, Honorable Devendra Fadnavis ji, has clearly said, whoever takes the law in their own hands will be severely dealt with and punished. So tell me, after that incident, what law has been taken into whose hands? And if any incident
No, but
has happened,
this is the incident we're talking about. This
No,
whole
this-
thing about the Rajasthani shopkeeper.
he
He
has
put in
not
a statement,
been-
देख लिया राजस्थानी का power, हम मरवाड़ी हमारे सामने किसी की नहीं चलती है. I'm
now,
saying,
was he provoking the Marathi Manus or no? Please tell me.
No, you tell me.
Was
You
he
think this is
provoking?
provocation?
I'm telling you that he was provoking the Marathi
He was
Manus.
provoking. Okay.
And-
Now these
okay.
kind of WhatsApp
Now the Manse
statuses,
people have gone and told
sir,
him to
tell
remove
me.
status.
All I'm asking is, I am sitting in the state of Uttar Pradesh. If I put in a status, देख लिया मराठी का पावर, महाराष्ट्रियन का पावर, हम मराठी लोग हमारे सामने किसी की नहीं चलती. If I put this in UP, will goons come and start threatening me? Will they start abusing me?
Sucharita,
Will
let
they?
me tell
No,
you.
I'm asking you. I'm just asking you. I'm just putting a hypothetical situation.
Let me answer you. Yeah. See, the Marathi Manus is full of and rich of culture. And even he does not
The people
endorse
of
all
UP
this.
are not.
No, all of them are. All of them are. Every religion and every caste and every state is proud of their language. And also Maharashtrians are proud of Marathi. Similarly, as UP people may be proud of Hindi, or Gujaratis
Proud
may
of-
be proud of Gujarati.
No,
Being
sir,
proud
all
of the
I'm saying
language
is
a different
half
thing.
of them, these
And
MNS,
therefore, let me tell
no, MNS workers, I began this debate by asking Mr. Jha about the Marathi Gaurav Divas, and why I said this was,
And it is
a lot of
27th
these
February
MNS
and
workers
Maharashtra
would
Divas
not
is
know
first
this, that their Marathi language has a day where it's being celebrated. But for the cameras, they want to go and threaten people, and this is all being done. Why? Because there is a BMC election. Sanju?
Sucharita, I want to just make one very quick point. And yes, Marathi Gaurav Divas is 27th February and Maharashtra official languages day is May 1st. This
Yes.
is for Mr. Jha. But on a more serious note, I always say this, that taking cognizance of the problem is, the first step towards resolving the problem. And I think the fact that the Chief Minister has now clearly said enough is enough, I think that's a categorical indication that no more vandalism will be tolerated. But Sucharita, one point I need to make. I have the guts to say, even if a BJP MLA is engaging in vandalism, jail ki salakho ke piche daliye, irrespective of political ideology. But I was shocked that this Rajya Sabha MP of Uddhav Thackre's Sena, Priyanka Chaturvedi, was asked on another channel by an anchor, "Tumhala Marathi yete ka?" She says, "Ho, mala Marathi mahit ahe, but माझी मराठी कमजोर आहे." And in the same way, she says she supports imposition of Marathi. अरे मैडम, आपसे 3 वाक्य मराठी में बोले नहीं जाते, वो भी आप टेलीप्रॉम्प्टर देख के बोलती हो. But when Uddhav Thackeray's goons are beating up Biharis and Uttar Pradesh ke Nagarik, you have consumed Fevicol in wholesale. I think this is the hypocrisy that needs to be called out. And I have been staying in Maharashtra for the longest time. All I can say is, Marathi माणूस शांतता प्रिय असतात, त्यापैकी बहुतेक जण हिंदी बोलतात. राज ठाकरे आणि गुंडे यांच्या उद्धव ठाकरेच्या विनाशकारी गुण महाराष्ट्राच्या प्रतिनिधित्व करत नाही. Maharashtrians are peace loving, they speak Hindi, and Raj Thackeray and Uddhav Thackeray
but
do
there's
not
so many,
represent
you're right,
Maharashtrians.
Sanju. Mr. Sharma, there are so many Maharashtrians who are coming in and saying that this is not us. We can't be beating up people. This is just a section of political workers who are doing this. We take pride in our language, everyone does, but this is not us.
Taking pride in a language is a different thing, but these people are language naxals. They are linguistic extremists. They are fanatics. They are
Yes.
lunatics. Anyone promoting them is involved in the heinous crimes of linguistic carnage.
This-
Let me tell you, I am afraid that this radicalism, will rather than make Marathi flourish, will convert Maharashtra.
Exactly, I agree.
into a
I agree.
slaughterhouse.
And it is important that all political parties speak against it. All political parties, because this is going to become a menace and it will be only affecting the poor people on the street. Thank you so much to all of you for joining me on the debate. And moving on. At 9 p.m. on the debate, Wall Street Journal repeats pilot blame theory without any proof. DGCA, Air India, silent on leaks.
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला. केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार. विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाइ क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाइ क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
Where the software engineer meets the cool UI UX designer, meets the gifted content writer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for the debate.
Hello and welcome, friends. Tonight we bring to you a debate that's been on everybody's mind since morning. When news broke in the Wall Street Journal of the United States of more details about the AI-171 crash in Ahmedabad on June 12. The report not only declares the investigation open and shut, but also puts the entire onus on one pilot, the commander of the flight, Sharat Sabharwal. Full of source-based conjecture, the report seems to be sure only about that conclusion, that Sabharwal, as pilot monitoring, had his hands free to switch the engines off. There's something amiss, friends. If you look at the developments on AI-171 probe from a day before the AAIB report came in a few days back, there seems to be a pattern, that of attempting to steer the investigation away from any technical/mechanical/maintenance failure and towards a clear case of pilot error. Today's Wall Street Journal report pushes the envelope even further and makes pilot Sabharwal the fall guy. Shravan, do we really believe that or contest?
Well, in fact, it is a complete ham-handed job that has been done by the Wall Street Journal. And Abhishek, over the last several weeks, if there is one thing that is working towards one pointed direction, and that is the direction that anyhow the makers, the giants here, should be given a clean chit. And that is the reason why this preliminary report, which was uploaded around 1:30 in the morning at the Ministry of Civil Aviation's website, raises even more questions. It hasn't really answered anything.
Yeah.
As far as this particular report goes, what is important to point out here is this, as we begin. It's a despicable act on the part of the Western media to pin the blame on the pilots, and that too without any shred of evidence. And we say that with some amount of certainty because Over the next few hours, we're going to not only present new facts, we are also going to shred this entire report that has been prepared. And ladies and gentlemen, why it is certain global conglomerates essentially benefiting from this kind of a reportage of the Western media. First, take a look at this report.
Less than a week since the AAIB report came out, and the Western media is fixated on a theory it floated hours before the release of the controversial report. One paraphrased line on page 14 of the report is now in the eye of the storm. Today, the US-based publication Wall Street Journal put out another sensational report on the AI-171 crash, once again attempting to paint the pilots as the culprit. Going a step further, the Wall Street Journal even alleged that it was the senior pilot that moved the fuel switches to cut-off position, without any evidence, purely based on sources. The Pilots Association in India are up in arms over the baseless claims made by the US-based publication.
Boeing directly has not done anything. Now we are contemplating the action against Wall Street Journal. They are targeting Indian pilots. Where is the evidence? If they have the evidence, yes, we will agree to that. But where is the evidence? There is no evidence. So why are they maligning and with malified intentions against the pilots? And on the contrary, what harm they are doing?
Pressure is now mounting on the Ministry of Civil Aviation over the AAIB's preliminary report that has exposed a lot of gaps.
See, the report which has come out in the public uses a very particular word. It says transitioned. The switches transitioned. Because there are two people in the cockpit, we must understand the pilot flying and the pilot monitoring इनकी अपनी duties हैं. Now the report says the fuel control switches transitioned. Also, that led to a confusion state between the pilots. That is what this particular report is trying to say, that there is a challenge and response happening between the both of these pilots.
The preliminary report failed in providing the entire transcript of the CVR. What is strange is that the AAIB preliminary report is being disclosed and leaked in the United States, and that brings a greater worry for all of us in India, because this is an independent organization controlled by the government of India, yet the Wall Street Journal seems to know more about it than any of us in India or our parliament or the Civil Aviation Ministry.
Strong questions are being asked to the government on this international slander campaign.
मुझे लगता है कि AAIB का ये प्राइमरी रिपोर्ट है. मैंने पहले भी कहा है, जिस समय दुर्घटना घटी उसके तुरंत बाद 24 घंटे के अंदर AAIB की टीम ने बाकी सभी एजेंसी ने मिलकर ब्लैक बॉक्स वहाँ पे ढूंढ निकाला. उसके बाद AAIB के कस्टडी में जो ब्लैक बॉक्स था उससे डाटा निकाला गया, उससे बहुत सारी इंफॉर्मेशन निकल के लाई है. मुझे लगता है कि उन्होंने जो रिपोर्ट दिया उसमें सभी ये प्राइमरी बेस पे है.
Amid mounting pressure, the AAIB was finally forced to break its silence. In its one-page response, the Aircraft Accidents Investigation Bureau said that the purpose of its report to give preliminary information on what happened and that it is too early to reach any conclusions. So everyone must await the final report. But the damage was already done. Did the AAIB jump the gun by recommending no action for Boeing and GE? Are vested interests deliberately pushing a pilot bias theory? Will Air India break its silence and take a stand for its pilots like it did for its maintenance record?
Opening the debate tonight, Captain Ehsan Khalid and Captain C.S. Randhawa. Captain Ehsan Khalid, one argument that has been made so far is that those who are carrying out this probe in itself, the AAIB, does not really include pilots, commercial pilots, and that is the reason why many would not really understand the situation, the gravity of the situation itself. Question about the composition of the AAIB itself and the fact that today you've given a complete free hand to those who would like to speculate about the role of the pilots itself.
Yeah, so I do not know who are the members of the AIB who are qualified and who have worked on 787. If you have an information, you can share it. But I don't have even one of them. Is there a pilot who has flown 787? I do not know.
The Pilot Association says that none from the Commercial Pilot Forum are participating. The Pilot Association is not part of this entire investigation.
Okay, so it is nobody's case that, AIB is trying to shield the pilots or the airline. It is nobody's case that, AIB is trying to shield the pilots who could be defamed and therefore not releasing the CVR transcripts and the data. It is not even Boeing or GE's case that, the entire thing should be kept in the open so that the truth can come out. Okay, so here it is only the Pilot Association and some people who are, spirited to find out the truth are wanting the data to be released because there is.
Wouldn't that have been appropriate, Captain Khalid?
Yeah.
This is something that my colleague Abhishek was also pointing out on the first day itself, that there's no timestamp as far as the cockpit voice recording is concerned.
No, there is
paraphrased statements that have been made, leaving enough room for speculation. So who exactly is responsible? The AAIB is equally responsible here.
I would like to throw this question to the entire panel. What is the date of AIB report? Would you be able to give me a date?
That's 12th of July.
You could correct it because FAA in its report is referring to an AIB report of 11th of July. Okay, so that is the report of FAA. That's the only document that says that this is the date of the AIB. What I'm saying is either the whole inquiry is confidential or it is open. It cannot be confidential for you, me, and the Indian media and pilots, and be totally open to Wall Street Journal. The past thing is that Wall Street Journal is not talking without information at their table.
Now, what information, Captain Khalid? Because I have gone through that entire article, and interestingly, there is no direct quote. Now, what is even more laughable is this. And I'm quoting from that article. It was captain who turned off the switches that control fuel flowing to the plane's two engines. How does Wall Street Journal really know? And if that is the case,
and they know it happened
to substantiate
and they know it happened in a span of 1 second. Absolutely. And they know that in 10 seconds, the engines were up again. So they know everything. They know a lot. And it seems the AAIB is not in control of the situation, not in control of the narrative, not in control of the content they were supposed to share.
While this statement should actually come from the AIB, not from Wall Street Journal. I and me and everyone, Captain Randhawa and the family of people who lost their lives should come to know who cut the engine from the AAIB, not Wall Street Journal. This is ethically wrong.
Okay.
And it raises a lot of questions on the credibility of the whole inquiry. Either the pilots are at fault or they are not at fault. This is something that would be very clearly established by the data. And let me tell you, if the pilots were at fault, Boeing and GE would have been blaring on a loudspeaker saying pilot is at fault, pilot is at fault. They would not like to try to shield it for 30 days. So whatever data the AIB has, they do not have any clear way of pinning the pilots.
Okay.
And therefore, this kind of an information route has been taken. First, prepare the mind of the world and then come up with an information which is not really concrete.
Captain Randhawa, you have pointed out that it appears that the Wall Street Journal has more data. Today, we also have others who are joining us. In fact, Captain John Cox is joining us on this broadcast too. In fact, he has said that he knows who these reporters are and they wouldn't have really spoken on this entire issue without really knowing. Captain Randhawa, first to you. From the Pilot Association point of view, I've spoken to a few pilots. They're essentially saying that, look here, before we really look into what the role of the Western media is, look at the role of the Ministry of Civil Aviation. The AAIB is reporting to them. The very fact that the timing of the report perhaps matches with a certain timeline of protecting a few. So the question here is that who are we really protecting?
First and foremost thing, we highly condemn the report published by Wall Street Journal, and we are in the process of sending a legal reply from our lawyers to the routers who are responsible to disseminate this information to Wall Street Journal. It is, I would say, the most inappropriate way of targeting the pilot community, and the Western media has not stopped and has been constantly, all the time, they have been coming to a conclusion that the pilots have done and they are responsible for this accident. No one is at all putting any thought process that this aircraft 787 is highly dependent on an electrical system. And I have been saying on every channel that on 17th of January 2019, an aircraft NH985 from Tokyo Haneda to Osaka flamed out both engines on touchdown because the aircraft did not go from air mode to ground mode, and as a precaution, when the reversers were taken, it found that it needs to cut off the engines because reversers cannot be deployed in the air. And it cut off the engines. Pilots never cut off the engines. So this is not...
Captain Randhawa, is there anybody on the panel, Shawan? Is there anybody on the panel who can answer? And there are experts, flying experts, pilots. Can someone answer this simple question? Can the liver be turned from run to shut down while mid-air, while in air? Can somebody answer this question?
Abhishek, there are only three conditions. Like the Boeing company, I would tell you that only in 3 cases the pilot moves these fuel control switches. One is in case of a dual engine flame out. The second one is engine fire. And the third one is when engine is severely damaged or it stalls. So there are 2 actions in case of 2 engine failure the Boeing company recommends. One is fuel control switches to cut off and run. And the second point is the ram air switch, which is there on the overhead panel, the rat switch, has to be pushed to hold position and for 1 second and release so that the rat deploys. Now, see the agony of it. In the report, in the CVR analysis, there is only one sentence which is of maybe of 2 seconds. The transcript should have given the important aspects of the CVR. Right from the taxi, what has happened? What has happened on the backtracking of the aircraft? Was there something abnormal? Nothing, they have been silent.
What we are missing out?
We have said one pilot is telling the other one that the engine is, they have not cut off the engine. Now, the second point I would like to reiterate, the rat has been deployed. Now, what is the time the rat has been deployed? It takes 6 seconds for the rat to deploy and function and give the requisite hydraulic, electrical, and restart the engine.
Okay.
So if you go back on the timing, it does not coincide. The timing which are being given on the DFDR.
Okay.
So it is...
Captain Randhawa...
Thirdly, I would like to finish 1 minute. I have written to the minister the second time. Who are the subject matter experts in this whole investigation team? No pilot, no engineer, no air safety expert, controller, ATC controller, a cabin crew, anyone. There is no subject matter expert in this committee. I have asked for a reconstitution of the committee.
Captain Randhawa, I'll have to also bring in others right now. Captain Cox is also joining us on this broadcast. Captain Cox, he's a global aviation safety expert. In fact, I'm given to understand, Abhishek, that he knows the reporters who have written this article.
And yet he's not sure whether they should have written this.
And the fact that he says that, Captain Cox, you've been maintaining that, I think so, the biggest mistake that you make, especially in cases like this, is to come to any sort of conclusion. Having said that, wouldn't you then agree that if that is the case, the Western media and some of the aviation experts are basically talking what a global conglomerate would essentially want them to speak, because they are worried right now. If the AAIB would have come out with a recommendation that you need to ground some of the aircrafts, it would have had a global impact. And that is the reason why perhaps an attempt has been made to shy away from making any recommendations or create a narrative. And that's exactly what the Wall Street Journal has done. Create a narrative that perhaps the pilots are at fault, and there's nothing to really back the claims that they have made.
Okay, let's establish a couple of things. One, the AAIB report is a quality report done in compliance with the International Civil Aviation Organization. It is a preliminary report. It says only what the evidence they have found has shown them, one of which is the fuel cutoff switches were moved from run to cutoff. It has not ascertained who moved them. It has not determined that it was a deliberate or inadvertent act. So the media may speculate, and they may in fact talk to people who knew these crew members and draw conclusions. But the AAIB report is in compliance, exact compliance, with the International Civil Aviation Organization. So we need to be patient. This is not a time to draw conclusions or assign blame. I've been an accident investigator for over 35 years. And all of the investigations I've done, you have to keep an open mind. Now, that said, my research does not ever show a Boeing airplane having a fuel cutoff switch move inadvertently and shut one, much less two, engines down. With that data point, it says that there is circumstantial evidence that says that a person moved those switches. Beyond that, everything else is speculation. I do know the reporter. I have worked with him before. He is a credible reporter. He is not one that is going to attempt to cover something up or assign blame inappropriately. I have not spoken to him about this particular article. What I will say is that the Wall Street Journal would not publish something that assigns this much blame unless they had multiple sources that supported that. They are not bound by the same evidentiary standard that AAIB is and that accident investigators are. They are free to speculate. The accident investigators are not. People like myself will not speculate. We will look where the evidence
Captain Cox, you are saying that they wouldn't have speculated.
This tragedy, the tragedy is everybody wants answers, and we need to be methodical, and we need to get the right answers. That's more important than anything else.
Captain Cox, that's a typical investigator's restraint that you are showing, but obviously the WSJ does not believe in that. And the kind of desperation that's reeking out of that report, just one example of which is that while it concludes that pilot monitoring could have carried this out, then it sort of tries to create a picture of how Captain Sabharwal was a reserved, shy, introvert kind of guy who you would not be able to scrutinize easily, and that maybe there was some aspect of his life which was troubling him. All that innuendo there. Now, look at this one para. While it is talking about second to second of the pilot's conversation, there is one para which says, contents of the flight's cockpit voice recorders have been tightly held by the Indian authorities and seen as key to helping fill out the sequence of events in the flight's final moments. And in the same para it says, Jennifer Homendy, and you would know Captain Cox, the NTSB chief, has sought to listen to the recordings herself, which means she has sought but not been given. Indian authorities are holding the CVR and the conversation there tightly to themselves. So obviously all this gets reduced to conjecture.
The conjecture and speculation around this accident is the worst I have ever seen in my 35 years.
And unfortunately, Captain Cox, and I have to say this, all of it is coming from the United States. First it came from Air Current, now it's the WSJ.
If we are to get the answers, we need to follow the processes and procedures of the International Civil Aviation Organization. So far, AAIB is doing that. There has been a lot of speculation about the timeline and the time stamps on the recorder. That will come out. And this is a preliminary report. And if there are timing adjustments that need to be made, they will be made. But the rat deployment can occur in about 3 seconds, according to Boeing. It can also take a bit longer, so we don't know this particular airplane. The other thing is they have not identified which crew member said what. And the reason they haven't is because the cockpit voice recorder group has not come to conclusion and consensus about each word in the transcript. So they put it as a general term, and they also don't say who said it. This is exactly what a preliminary report should do. As to the Wall Street Journal,
Cox,
they have sources that they talk to. I don't know who they are.
I'm not sure about the sources here.
Speculated.
You know, the reason why we are saying that there is so much of speculation, but look at what they have written, Captain Meenu Wadia. They have gone a step ahead, saying that the first officer expressed surprise and then panicked while the captain seemed to remain calm. Importantly, they make no direct quotes. These are all source-based. There's no way to authenticate any of it. While Captain Cox has been very cautious in the way he has put this across, I want to highlight 2 issues here. While the entire focus of the Western media has largely been on the so-called conversation between the 2 pilots, what they have never emphasized are the following. 1, the 2018 FAA advisory with regards to the unintended changes as far as the transitions, as far as the fuel lock system is concerned. The second is the fact that you have the pilot who had flown this very aircraft from Delhi to Ahmedabad logging in, saying that there is a technical issue, and the technical issue was that of the stabilizer position transducer. And that is something that is being looked into. That is not the focus. What is not also in the focus is the UK safety advisory that was issued back in the year 2015 and back again in 2025, which says there is a possibility. It is not a fail-safe system.
Right. Let's talk about the SAIB.
That question was for Captain Meenu Wadia. I wanted Captain Meenu Wadia, Captain Cox to respond to this, and I'll come back to you.
Let's address the SAIB. It came from an issue on a 737, and I have researched any incident where a
Captain Cox, will you let me speak, please?
Caused an unintended.
Captain Cox, will you? Captain Cox, I'll come back to you, but I want a response from Captain Meenu Wadia.
Boeing 777s or 787s.
I think Captain Cox is not getting it. Okay, now he gets.
Captain Cox, if you can just, I want a response from Captain Meenu Wadia.
Okay, fine. First of all, everyone says there should not be any speculation. Therefore, I will not indulge in any speculation at all. I will not agree with Captain Cox's statement at all. And I'll give you 2 separate evidence. First of all, I'll give you evidence to show that the pilots have done nothing wrong on this particular issue. If you give me 3 minutes, I'll refer to the action of the pilots. And then also I'll give you evidence why the Western media has gone out of its way to malign the pilots. First of all, as far as the pilots are concerned, what Captain Cox was referring to, that some switch was put off. Nowhere does it say that the switch was put off at all. What he is misreading and misdirecting everyone is the conversation that the pilots have asked each other, and that is a perfectly normal thing to do. The aircraft was totally serviceable when it took off. The moment it has taken off, the pilots have found that the power has not available. So that's an obvious question to ask. First of all, did you do anything? Did you switch off? So the other person said, no, I have not done anything. So first of all, why don't you believe the word of the pilots who have actually said these things? So the pilot has said, I have done no action. So therefore, why would you want to presume that he has in fact taken an action when he said so very clearly, to start with? Secondly, there's enough evidence now to show that the electrical system, that the FedEx system has failed in the past in this particular aircraft and in similar Boeing aircraft also on the 737s, and the fuel has been switched off. There's enough evidence. If I go into it, I'll waste a lot of time. Let me give you also the evidence now of why the media is Western media is focusing so much on, see how much is at stake today. And what none of you will be aware of as what's happened today. Right today, I have seen a media report with giving my photograph and my name and mentioning that Captain Wadia, who's a specialist in aviation safety, is saying that the pilots cut off the engines. Can you imagine how far can people stoop to give their narrative?
Where was this,
how
Captain
far can
Wadia?
I have seen it on a media. I wish I could find out. I will sue the person for defamation if I can find out who has written this. But I have seen it with my photographs. I can show it to anyone who wants to see it, to start with. Secondly, not on the first day, even the first day and the second day. Why is it that the captains of America in uniform, in the pilot's uniform, making the most drastic and ridiculous statements? First thing, they said the aircraft crashed, and we know exactly why it has crashed, because the pilot, instead of putting the gear up, he put the flap lever up. And any aviator will know how ridiculous that statement is, etc. But they will go about making these statements and maligning the pilots. So you've got to understand, first of all, what is at stake. Yeah. Also, I am not surprised at all that this is going on. In fact, more will come out. More mudslinging will go on if you see the amount of that is at stake today. And I can go on much more, giving you a lot of evidence on the subject, but let others talk on the subject.
Dr. Vandana, Captain Wadia says that this is not the end. More is to come. In fact, you have also spoken about this entire issue, something that we have put out time and again, saying that, look here, there is this issue, there is this entire transitioning. The word transitioning also, Abhishek, many would say it's from the lexicon of the pilots flying in the West, and it's not really a lexicon that is used by pilots here in India. Dr. Vandana, you have actually studied this very, very closely, and I want you to perhaps take it forward from what Captain Wadia was saying, and then finally, Captain Cox, you could respond to what Captain Wadia was saying.
So firstly, what I would like to say is that we've been talking about the FedEx and the miscommand and malfunction, electrical malfunction. I don't want to go deep into that software glitch that it can occur. I don't want to go into that. But what I'm amazed and shocked is with the way the Western media is coming out with such reports. I must say that I quite relate to US President Trump.
Why are you surprised?
Fake news.
Can I ask you, why are you surprised?
Just because when the US President talks about fake news, then I quite relate to it.
So you believe this is paid news? You believe that someone is behind this? Someone is running the wheels?
Just let me complete. Now the Wall Street Journal, a reputed journal, is coming out with such unprofessional, immoral, and unethical, a sort of reading. It seems to me as if they are having the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder with them, and it's not with us in India.
Which they are saying they don't have. Which they're saying they don't have in the report.
Yes. Obviously, they don't have it. Then how can they do such kind of mudslinging on our pilots? How can they start questioning? On one hand, we know this is a preliminary report, that this is just the first 6 to 10% of the entire report that has come out, we are not even giving time to that, and the Western media is speculating and throwing mud, doing mudslinging over here and defaming our pilots who can't talk anymore, who are dead and gone with those 270 people. It's a shame. And a Wall Street Journal doing it, I mean, at 8:36 in the morning today, it's really pained. It's really painful. So first and foremost, I would like to say we don't need to speculate. I would like to tell the Western media, kindly do not speculate. AAIB, as Captain Cox said, is a very competent body. Let them sit there, let them investigate, let the final disclosures be made, let the closures come out. What are they speculating about? Why are they in such a hurry to take the blame away from all the stakeholders? And we are not delving right now into the stakeholders. We've spoken enough about them. So why are they getting away from the stakeholders and putting it on two dead pilots?
Yeah,
This is the
not
question
two. In fact, Vandana Singh, it's specifically one. I think the report makes it clear that they're talking about pilot monitoring did that because he had his hands free. I mean, that's one question I really want to ask. Has someone answered? Has someone answered? Group Captain Bajpai, can you answer? Like, they're saying that since pilot monitoring would have had his hands free, he could have carried out the maneuver of turning the switch from run to turn off.
Okay, good evening to both of you and to your million of viewers. I heard very patiently everybody. I hope others will also give me some time. There were few gaps when we had our discussion till now. First, Abhishek, you had asked this question, whether this fuel cutoff switch could be moved in the air. Yes, definitely it can be raised. It can be brought from run to cutoff position by lifting it up, taking it back, leaving it in the dowel. It's a spring-loaded toggle switch that can be done. Okay. Second, the Captain Khalid and Captain Randhawa had asked that who all were the members. The page 5 of the report. Mind it, I will limit myself. I will not go around. I will limit myself with this prelim report because this particular discussion is based on prelim report. Either people have taken one side or other side. Okay, and I presume and assume this report has been written with due diligence and the forwarding says it is based on preliminary facts and evidence collected so far by the time this report was written. Right. Okay, the page 5 says that the experienced pilots, engineers, aviation medicine specialists, psychologists, and the flight recorder specialists have been taken on board. Now I will go chronological point by point. Abhishek, if you can remember, 5 days back, the very next day when the prelim report came to the public notice, I had spoken by sitting from this very chair that I am doubting there is a human intervention by moving the switch. You were surprised to know that.
You seem to be agreeing with the Wall Street Journal report today.
No, I am not at all agreeing. I am saying Wall Street had no business to make such comments. How did these information before this report come in the public domain reach to them? How are they making such comment? The particular pilot has done it because this prelim report is not telling. It seems somebody is informing him. It should be identified. The Wall Street Journal should tell what is their source of getting this information, and that gentleman should be taken to the task because it's a pure secret and confidential report. Only thing in public domain is this prelim report only. Okay, now I will go chronological and logical way, the way this report has been presented. The first point, and first of all, I will ask all this august panel, anybody can tell what is more reliable, more authentic than SSCVR and SSFDR. These are the two specific equipment installed on every
we have to Shawan, we have to get in
an incident investigation.
I think we have to get in Captain Meenu Wadia and Captain Randhawa on this. I think Group Captain Bajpai is throwing a direct challenge. He's saying that this could be a product of human intervention. Obviously, in the cockpit there are two pilots.
I will tell you.
He's saying it's possible. Captain Wadia and Captain Randhawa, one by one.
Because Captain Wadia has already rejected it. Captain Wadia is saying this.
Agreement with Captain Cox. He spoke that thing. We don't know who did it. because this report does not talk about it.
But the WSJ report is talking about it. But the WSJ report is talking about it.
Okay.
But Captain Randhawa responded.
What is your experience on any commercial aircraft?
Captain Randhawa wants to. Can we have Captain Randhawa and Group Captain
What is your
Bajpai?
experience on commercial aircraft?
Sir, irrespective, you tell the logical point on this thing.
No.
Don't do the
That are you commercial? Are you from the
irrespective,
commercial?
sir.
You're from Air Force.
Kindly give the point.
What is the?
I will read out
Gentlemen,
the report.
just hold on. No one will understand. Captain Randhawa, what is that specific point beyond the fact that you are saying that you don't have the experience? He's not supposed to have he's not part of the AAIB. You should ask that question to the Ministry of Civil Aviation. Civil Aviation Minister should be answering
What
that.
I'm
The
saying,
DGCA should be
I
answering
accept
that.
this report.
Captain Randhawa, can I get into specifics of it? Can I get into the specifics of it? He is saying, Group Captain Bajpai is saying, he said, I'm going by the preliminary report. The preliminary report is basically indicating that there could be a human error. How are you contesting this?
I am contesting that it is not a human error. I am again saying it with confidence. This is something to do with the electronics, the software.
Sir, with due regards to your confidence, what is written in the report I will read out based on SSCVR and SSFDR input. Kindly see the page number 14. It says the DFDR data, it says...
Bajpai, I have seen the
there
pages.
Was no problem.
I have enough experience from the Air Force and from the...
Full regards to your
Group Captain Bajpai, let Captain Randhawa speak and then you can respond. Let Captain Randhawa speak.
He has spoken. What I am saying...
Gentlemen, it makes no sense of talking over each other. Captain Randhawa, a specific question, rather than let's not get agitated here. You are saying that there is a mechanical engineering failure, something that we have reported extensively. No other network today perhaps has the gumption to actually report and take on almost everyone. Every stakeholder we have taken on here on Republic TV because we have based our reportage on complete facts. I want to once again focus. You are saying that there is a possibility of mechanical engineering failure. What is it? Can you elaborate? And then I'll get Group Captain Bajpai on that.
I have said over and over again on different channels. I have just now said, even on this channel, that why aren't we relating this accident to the incident which occurred at Osaka on the same aircraft. Now, the second point is that why did it occur in that Osaka aircraft? And this has been corroborated by Miss Mary, who's been the Inspector General of U.S. Transportation. She was there with we heard her on the Mojo discussion channel.
Okay, I'm just elaborating because this is what Captain Randhawa, you're talking about the 2019 incident.
Yes.
The 2019 incident because you have...
the Anna aircraft.
Correct.
Okay. So no one wants to say it's very easy to put the blame on the pilots and get away. Okay. And this has been done in the past. I've seen it in the Air Force. I'm seeing it over here. Okay. So the point is that you have to understand that this aircraft is highly dependent on the electrical system.
Okay, that's an important point. Captain Randhawa, now Group Captain Bajpai, I'm going to make it more specific for you. As far as multiple sensor failures are concerned, there is a possibility. Absolutely. Why is it that you're not focusing on that? I'm quoting what Captain Randhawa was talking as far as the 2019 incident is concerned, to which you have an aviation expert saying that the investigation revealed that the plane software made the 787 think it was on the ground and the thrust control malfunction accommodation system cut the fuel to the engines. The reality is this, that multiple bodies have spoken about the issue, that the fuel switch control system, this entire transitioning can happen. Why is it that we are completely letting it go? We are more interested about this two paraphrased comment between the two pilots with the Wall Street Journal coming to some sort of a conclusion. But that same emphasis is not given on the same FAA advisory. The same issue that has been highlighted in 2019, that finds no significance.
Sir, 2 points.
No, but see,
let me speak.
Okay. Group Captain Bajpai and then Captain Minuwadia.
Please.
Yeah, Group Captain Bajpai. Go ahead.
Here we are discussing ill-fated flight AI 171, not the 2019 accept.
But it's the
However,
same aircraft.
Let me complete, sir. I presume and assume all the investigators of the investigating committee are matured, responsible, and accountable. Whatever they have written, it is based on certain facts.
But you are also
and
cherry
evidence.
picking a group.
I will tell 3 points. Why I am reaching to this conclusion? Manual. I am not saying it is done by a particular pilot, but what is containing chronological way, there are 3 points. Till the time aircraft had taken off, no problem. After crossing the rotational speed, it attained 180 knot speed. Perfectly all right. Immediately when the aircraft attained 180 knot speed, the fuel cutoff switch has been transitioned.
But RAT has been deployed.
No. After that, RAT has got deployed. After that, RAT got deployed. After a 5 second.
Okay.
First
I
the
really want to
fuel
focus.
switch.
Abhishek, one.
I really want to focus on the Wall Street Journal report. With this analysis of the AAIB report with a scalpel we have done of the 15 pages. I have 2 questions. I want one question to be answered by Captain Khalid and other by Captain Minu Wadia. My question to Captain Khalid is, this question remained unanswered. The WSJ report, Captain Khalid says, since Sabharwal as pilot monitoring had his hands free, so he could have carried out the maneuver. It's putting the onus directly on Captain Sabharwal because he was just monitoring, he was not doing anything. At that stage of flight, is a pilot not doing anything? Just after takeoff?
Look, that is the most intense moment when the aircraft is transitioning from the ground rotate and get airborne. It is not something that, one pilot is flying, the other one is sipping coffee and probably watching Wall Street Journal
You can't be watching Netflix.
It does not happen.
He is holding the
But
control.
the most important thing in this is that fine, Wall Street Journal has a report to make based on what they know they have it in the boxes with AAIB. Now that is what is the very disturbing thing.
Right.
Tomorrow, we might denounce Wall Street Journal today, but tomorrow AAIB will now come up with it. It will be aligned with what Wall Street Journal has said. Now the problem with the pilot community and to everyone here is, which is leading the investigation? AAIB or
no? The point is no. The point is jumping the gun. As a journalist, I can understand that with whatever information you have, you would try to piece together the facts. But this is a case of jumping the gun, and that's why I was trying to be factual on this. Whether saying that because pilot monitoring had his hands free, he could have done that is something which should be.
That can only be said by someone who has never flown the air.
Exactly. And obviously no journalist has flown a Boeing 787. But Captain Minu Wadia, another interesting aspect of this report is that it suggests criminal investigation. The report says that in a case like this, had it happened in the United States, they would have involved the FBI. And that's why the AAIB or the investigators in this probe should already be looking at criminal investigation. I mean, does that sound normal or preposterous to you?
No, of course, there should be a criminal investigation. But let me clarify something that people have said in good faith. For example, the group captain said about the switch being manually moved. Please let me go by the evidence and facts available to us. Did the pilots touch the switches? Yes, but wait and listen to me carefully. As soon as the aircraft has taken off, the pilots have realized that their power is not available. That is maybe in about 5 seconds or so, less than 5 seconds or so. Therefore, one pilot asks the other, have you done anything? Have you switched off? And he says, no. I have no reason to disbelieve any of the pilots. So first of all, no one has touched that switch at all. However, as they are going along in the next few seconds, they have realized that there is no power in the engine and the engines have flamed out. Now, it is a normal and procedural matter, and it is taught to you in your simulators also that all pilots are required to put the switch, the fuel switch, off momentarily and switch it on immediately. This is exactly what they did, and that is proof of that is in the report which says that momentarily the number one engine lit up. one engine lit up and it got ignition also. However, since there was very little time for it to wind up, an aircraft to go from zero power to maximum power takes at least 8 to 10 seconds. And therefore, there was no time for the engines to get enough power to get airborne once again. So this business of, again, touching the switches, let's not make a misunderstanding on this subject.
Group Captain Bajpayee, I'll give you the chance, but I think so. Captain Cox wanted to also come in. Captain Cox, you've heard your argument has been shredded by Captain Meenu Wadia by saying that, look here, you need to understand that there is a presumption on which this report has come in, and the very factor that from the evidence that has been presented in the AAIB report, nothing really suggests that the pilots were at fault. Captain Cox, how exactly are we really ignoring the advisories that have been issued? How exactly are we ignoring the 2019 incident with the same very aircraft?
All right. The 2019 advisory bulletin was due to a 737, not a 787. The repeated reference to the flight 985 in Osaka is after landing, not after takeoff. They are not similar. Now, this said, there is a procedure for the crew to switch an engine off and back on momentarily, not 10 seconds between the movement of the switch. The facts are that there is not a case of a Boeing airplane in the recorded history that I can find that says that the transition of a fuel shut-off switch occurred without a human action. So the evidence says we must consider that a human moved that switch. The AAIB report is very careful in its language, and I commend them for that. It says the switch transitioned. It does not say who moved it. That information will be forthcoming. But we need to focus on the possibility that the switch movement was inadvertent or the switch movement was intentional. That is where the focus needs to be. That's where the AAIB is focused as they are trying to understand the individual pilots, as well as they're looking, there's been extensive checks on 787s and other Boeing aircraft. No one has found a switch problem. So the mechanical or electrical idea is remote. So we carefully and methodically go through this process. That's how we find the solution. As to the speculation in the Wall Street Journal, they made the conclusion to report it. They have their sources. That is not AAIB. That is not the factual source. We need to stay focused in accordance with the International Civil Aviation Organization on what AAIB releases, and the preliminary report was inclusive and exactly what it should have been by ICAO standards. Let's keep the speculation down. Let's let the investigator and let's get to the correct answers.
Well, I want to ask one question to Captain Cox.
Captain Randhawa, we're really running short of time. Captain Randhawa, running short of time. Go ahead. Make a quick question.
There's a query. No, I want to ask him a question. That if this accident would have happened in United States of America, would they have invited people from India, from UK, in the NTSB to assist them in the investigation?
It would be normal for the country in which the accident occurs to determine and invite whom they choose as observers or as accredited representatives. That's according to ICAO Annex 13.
Okay. Group Captain Bajpayee, quickly. We are just running short of time.
This is for Captain Wadia and Captain Randhawa. They are saying, in fact, Captain Randhawa, when you were listing for the reasons engines can fail, the two important reasons were, one of which got missed, One was the over-speed RPM of turbine. If it goes beyond 120%, that time also engine will get switched off. Second possibility could be asymmetric thrust for the same throttle setting. If there is asymmetric thrust, the engine will fail. However, in present condition, in this report, it says till 180 knot, engine were perfect, takeoff parameters were getting achieved. The moment transition, let me complete.
I think we shouldn't.
I will read
Group
out.
Captain Bajpai, sorry. Group Captain Bajpai, we really not get into this. We have done this, as I said, ad nauseum since July 11 when the report came in, Captain Ehsan Khalid Shawar. And, the fact of the matter is that we have to spare a moment. We have to spare a moment for the families of, those who perished in the crash. We have to think of the pilots who are not there to defend themselves. And in that sense, Shawar, I think it was very irresponsible of the Wall Street Journal to be going to that extent where they have pinned the blame entirely on one pilot. I think we should leave it there, that this is something which should have been avoided.
I fully endorse.
We are just hoping that the human lives will matter to those who are part of this entire probe team, because the families are still waiting for an answer. That's all tonight on The Debate.
Thanks for watching. Arnab Goswami is back tomorrow. Prime time, 8 p.m.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way. Where the software engineer meets the gifted content writer, meets the cool UI UX designer, meets the talented photographer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
Hi, this is Chef Ranveer Brar. Guarantee you brilliance on behalf of IAHM.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
ग्रेजुटी का चेक है, बस इन पैसों को हम कहीं इन्वेस्ट कर दें और रेगुलर इनकम भी आती रहे।
तो फिर फिक्स्ड इनकम म्यूचुअल फंड्स में डाल दीजिए। फिक्स्ड इनकम म्यूचुअल फंड्स चुने हुए इंटरेस्ट बेरिंग कंपनी बॉन्ड, गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड और मनी मार्केट में पैसा डालते हैं और सिस्टमैटिक विड्रॉल प्लान के जरिए आपको ऑन द डॉट फिक्स्ड अमाउंट भी मिलती रहेगी।
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने। Report published in the Wall Street Journal targets pilot for the Ahmedabad plane crash.
But where is the evidence? There is no evidence.
Federation of Indian Pilots will send a notice to the Wall Street Journal over blaming Indian pilots in the Air India 171 crash.
On Air India crash, you'll have to wait for the concerned Government of India authority to, make the report public. It is too premature for all of us to talk about what's in it, what's not in it. So we'll have to wait for the final report to come out.
MEA responds to the Wall Street Journal report, saying that it's a little too soon to comment.
बोला क्या नहीं तू? काय बोलला पहिला काय? मी बोलतो थांब. बोल.
Hooliganism back on the streets of Mumbai. MNS cadres beating up a shopkeeper belonging to the Marathi community for making comments, alleged comments about the Marathi community.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for the debate.
On the show tonight at 8 p.m. this evening, when chaos unfolds in the heart of Bengaluru, government puts onus on RCB. At 8:30 p.m. this evening, MNS workers, Goondaism continues on the streets of Mumbai. And at 9 p.m. on the debate, Wall Street Journal's repeat pilot blame theory without any proof. DGCA Air India silent on leaks. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we are putting the facts on record. 11 people are dead, over 50 others are injured. All of this during what was called a victory parade. A celebration that had no official permission, no crowd control plan, no emergency readiness, and yet it was allowed to happen. Allowed in full public view, with full political presence. On June 4th, Royal Challengers Bengaluru held a grand parade right in the heart of Bengaluru. Crowds began gathering outside Chinnaswamy Stadium from 2 p.m. Within the hour, the gates were shut, and shortly after, a stampede broke out. 11 lives were lost. Now, the Karnataka government's own report has confirmed the truth. RCB never applied for permission. They only informed the police just hours before the event. There was no written request, no estimate of how many people were expected, no traffic plan, no medical preparedness. And yet, the state went ahead. Thousands of police personnel were deployed. The Deputy Chief Minister was at the airport welcoming the players. The Chief Minister stood on the stage celebrating with the team. This was not a private event. This was a government-backed show, a politically facilitated disaster. Even worse, when officials said the event was cancelled, RCB kept calling fans to join in. Now, tweets were still going out at 3:14 p.m., minutes before the stampede happened. And through this report, the Karnataka government is now trying to wash its hands of all responsibility, putting all the blame on RCB while ignoring its own role in enabling the chaos. So tonight, we ask, who allowed this? Who looked the other way? And why did no one step in? Because when a state acts like an event manager for a cricket team, accountability dies. And with it, 11 innocent fans. This isn't just mismanagement. This is a failure of governance. And tonight, we're calling it what it is. Let's debate.
"18 years of wait. 11 lives lost. Two mega photo ops. One trophy and zero accountability. 43 days since the Chinnaswamy Stadium stampede, the nation still is looking for answers. In the High Court, the Karnataka government submitted a status report, but effectively the entire report was just one word. In the entire report, the Karnataka government explained why it was RCB that did not seek the permission, how RCB was responsible for calling the crowds, how RCB staff was unprepared, how RCB only gave an intimation letter, and various other sentences with RCB in it. Not just that, the Karnataka government also submitted a detailed analysis of RCB's social media feed till the last second. All this effort to build a strong case on why Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar, Home Minister G. Parameshwara and the entire Karnataka government was not responsible. Not one decent defense, however, of how the event of Vidhan Soda with family members of politicians was made possible for the VVIPs, and yet the stampede outside the stadium was RCB's fault. Even the Congress minister could only say that action will be taken, against whom remains a mystery.
I don't want to jump to conclusions. Once the report is, we see it. See, this is not a blame game here. If there is some lacuna or if there has been some mishandling of the situation, who was responsible, we have to take action. That's why the commission has been appointed, and it essentially created a hue and cry, and the people died, and it was a national news, international news. We have to take action. So let us wait for the report, see what the report says. Based upon that, the cabinet will take a further decision.
See, whenever there is a huge event happening, then it is the responsibility of the department to make appropriate arrangements, and they should be aware of the situation. These are all things there. So definitely there are lapses. Some young lives have been lost. We cannot take it so easily. So this, even at least to prevent this incidents in future, we have to take some action, isn't it?
So far in the case, there have been 3 FIRs, 4 arrests, and even suspension of 5 police officers. And yet, the 300-page report of Karnataka government couldn't muster one sentence on its own accountability. Perhaps that answer too rests with the High Command. The only question remains, why all in for photo ops and all out for accountability?
joined by national spokesperson of the BJP, Sanju Verma, on the debate tonight. I am also joined by Syed Asad Abbas, who's a political analyst, also speaks for the Congress party, Advocate Manjunath ND, also a pro-Congress voice. I'm also joined by Commodore G.J. Singh, who's joining us today as a resident of Bengaluru. In fact, he was present there, right there when the stampede took place. Also, Shekhar Vijayan joins us in a similar capacity. Thank you so much to all of you for joining me on the debate. But let me begin with some very, very important questions that are rising, that are coming out of this report that has been submitted. And let me go across to Syed Asad Abbas first. Syed Asad Abbas, had the Karnataka government leased the state police to the RCB to run it the way they wanted, because now they're washing their hands off all responsibility. Nothing is their onus now.
Sucharita ji, I've always believed with great power there's great responsibility and equal accountability. I believe, as a citizen of this beautiful country, as a Kannadiga myself, and a resident of Bengaluru all my life, undoubtedly this was a very unfortunate tragedy that took place. Being an RCB fan myself, over the last 18 years we waited for a trophy, and this happens on the day we bring back the trophy to town. The fact of the matter, now coming to the Karnataka Congress government, I would certainly say that the Karnataka State Police is an extended arm of the Karnataka State Government. Shri Siddaramaiah ji, our Honorable Chief Minister, took action against 5 police officers, 3 of which were IPS officers and 2 of which were state KSPS officers. He also held a commission, which is the Justice Michael D. Khanna one-man
Those 5 police officers were made scapegoats. It was their doing. The stampede, 11 people being killed, so many injured. It was the doing of those 5 police officers is what you're telling me, Syed Asad Abbas.
No,
there is no onus on the state government that allowed a mass event like this to happen without police permission being given. And you're telling me that 5 police officers have been held accountable for this?
I will tell you, as per the Justice Michael D. Khanna Judicial Commission, the report is out, where the blame is on the Royal Challengers Bangalore team, the management, Karnataka State Cricket Association, along with that.
Exactly.
Asad,
the blame. Okay, Sanju, let me just get Sanju into the debate. Sanju, the blame is on those 5 officers who've been held accountable. The blame is on the RCB. The blame is on Virat Kohli. There is no blame on the state government.
Sucharita, let's look at it from a layman's perspective. In a school, you have the principal who takes the final responsibility, whether good, bad, or ugly. In a college, it's the dean. In a media house, it's the editor-in-chief. In a corporate entity, it is the CEO. And in a state, it is the chief minister. Now, Siddaramaiah has to either be thoroughly incompetent, or he's lying, or both. Hypothetically assuming what Siddaramaiah says is right. He says, I was not aware, RCB did not take permission, and they went ahead and hosted this grand event at Chinnaswamy Stadium. I want to ask Mr. Siddaramaiah, on that very day, you were seen clicking photographs with Virat Kohli along with your grandson. You posted that on social media, and you did so very carelessly, very remorselessly, with no regret, within 72 hours of the horrific tragedy on 4th of June 2025. Today, in hindsight, you're blaming Virat Kohli, you're blaming his promotional video, you're blaming RCB, you blame the police constabulary. Don't forget, Sucharita, he suspended the police commissioner of Bengaluru, the additional commissioner, law and order of Bengaluru. He suspended the deputy commissioner. He also suspended almost every senior policeman at the Kabon Park police station. What did the High Court tell Siddaramaiah? High Court reinstated the police commissioner. High Court reinstated the senior IPS officer Vikash Kumar. And when Siddaramaiah last week wanted to file a closure report, High Court said you cannot blanketly file a closure report suo moto without first putting the contents of the investigation report in the public domain. Now when Siddaramaiah saw कि अब तो कुछ नहीं हो सकता, High Court has given a clean chit to the police constabulary. तो अब क्या किया जाए? to borrow your phrase, Sucharita, who should I make a scapegoat? Okay, let's make Virat Kohli, RCB, the scapegoat. My final point is this. My final point is this.
So those 5 police people, 5 police officers are accountable. The RCB is accountable.
I will answer that.
Virat Kohli is accountable. There is no onus on the government. They did not have a role to play in. They were just taking photographs. The deputy chief minister and the chief minister were just taking photographs at the event. They had no role in the entire planning of the event. Now, as a citizen of Bengaluru, Commodore G.J. Singh, I want to ask you, are you ready to buy this, that the state government is saying the onus is not on us? We never really gave the permission. The police never gave the permission. It was the RCB that forced us to have this event in Bengaluru.
No, not at all. I would say the whole blame lies on the government because the government was present there. The chief minister who represents the government of Karnataka, deputy chief minister, this whole cabinet, the whole secretariat, everybody was present there, not in front of few people, but lakhs of people. There was not a place to stand in front of the Vidhan Sabha. And then the road leads to the Chennai Stadium is a very short distance away from there. The whole road was crowded, overcrowded. Police was present there. Now, such a mega event cannot take place without the chief minister himself showing the green flag. Not only that, I would also say...
Sorry to interject you, but you were present there. So please tell our viewers that. It's very important. You saw it all with your own eyes.
I was very much present there.
Yes.
Because we have an army club there. I was present there. I went to see as to what all is happening there. And when the stampede took place, the event continued inside. Our deputy chief minister continued to have that, celebrations.
Yes.
Everybody inside continued to have it. People were dying outside. There was a big stampede there. There was an utter confusion. And then on top of it, you had a police force which was there, but I think it was not sufficient there to cope up with the situation. And I cannot understand how can the police be there without the permission of the government, of the chief minister, of the home secretary, of the deputy chief minister. When the government, the whole of government is there, the most uneducated, illiterate person will understand that this is the doing of the government. Why don't they take the blame on themselves?
Exactly.
Why blame the RCB?
Yes.
Why blame the police? Why blame when the police had also come up and said, look, this event should be postponed for a week. We are not prepared. But yet the government says, no, they are coming. His chief minister was actually wanted to steal away the that time fame, steal away the limelight. He wanted to be in the limelight. He wanted to take probably political mileage of it. That look, I am with the team. I am with India. I am with the people, RCB. But after the event has taken place, they have turned around and they said, no, it is not done by us.
You know what, Commodore? Those initial pictures which came in from Bengaluru showed the deputy chief minister actually in a celebration with the team inside the stadium, and there the stampede had started outside and those visuals started coming in from there. So they had no idea what was going on. Now, Advocate Manjunath, is it a weak government in Karnataka? Why don't you accept it? Because if it wasn't weak, it would not bow down to the pressure by the RCB. Now you're making it like the RCB pressurized the government and they had to have the celebration without any arrangement, without police permissions. You were forced into have that entire program.
So whatever the celebration that would be taken place inside the Chinnaswamy Stadium, that was not in the knowledge of the government. The RCB management had written a letter to the concerned police station on before the day only at 6:30 p.m. At that time, the concerned police have rejected the claim of the request of the RCB team. And again in the social media channel, they have so displayed that. So we are going to celebrate the RCB victory in the Chinnaswamy Stadium. That was also not in the knowledge of the government. So after
did the senior police officials not tell the chief minister and the deputy chief minister that the permission was not given?
No.
Is it not the job of the senior police officials to tell the chief minister that you are going to an event that does not have a police permission? There could be casualties. There could be a stampede. Whose role is it?
That's what government has suspended the police officer who are responsible for the management of for the arrangement of these victories and all, because that the suspension or order was upheld by the Karnataka Administrative Tribunal. That was a quasi-judicial tribunal. So the quasi-judicial proceedings were taken place, and the KAT has categorically expressed that it is the mistake of the RCB. It is not the mistake of the state government.
Advocate Manjunath,
whatever the celebration that was taken place,
I would have bought this, and maybe even Commodore GJ Singh would have bought this. Had the chief minister and the deputy chief ministers not been celebrating inside the stadium, had they not been there, I think the residents of Bengaluru would have bought this.
I would just
Commodore wants to say.
The feelings of the Kannadigas.
Commodore, I'm just putting this as a question. Maybe you would have bought this logic if the chief minister was not there celebrating.
Victory inside the Vidhana Saudha premises.
Manjunath.
No, what I am saying, in order to give
you see the light. You see the good.
Whatever the celebration, government was celebrated inside the premises of the Vidhana Saudha. No untoward incident has taken place. Untoward death were taken place inside the
can you please moderate
the premises of the Chinnaswamy Stadium. Whatever the celebration, our Home Minister, our Chief Minister, yes, definitely they have denied the permission.
Advocate
In the press media one.
So it is very clear from your point. Your viewpoint says that because the stampede did not happen inside the Vidhan Saudha, the responsibility does not lie with the government.
Exactly.
The responsibility, exactly. You're agreeing to that. Sanju, he's saying it did not happen inside the Vidhan Sabha, so it is not the responsibility of the others.
One minute.
The entire state belongs to whom? Who's governing the state of Karnataka? Are you just governing the Vidhan Saudha? Sanju,
please allow me to complete my points.
Thank you. No, please, let me finish, then you can speak. Sucharita, very quickly, and
the governor is the head of the state.
Please.
They were also present.
Manjunath, let us speak. Advocate Manjunath,
can you shut up?
Let her make her point.
Advocate Manjunath, can you shut up for
I know you want to stand in defense of the government. Even though there is no defense that can be put in
you should have to be
you're still fighting. It's okay.
You, Sanju, you should have to be
Can you shut up?
Because while you
are shamelessly defending the Congress government, can you shut up for a bit? I'm not here to listen to your rubbish. I'm not here to listen to your rubbish. You should be ashamed of calling yourself a lawyer. Please shut up. Now let me give you the timeline, Sucharita.
Yes.
Sucharita, can I please? I did not repeat it. I'm giving you the timeline of the event. Sucharita, I refuse to speak. Because this man, I did not heckle him even once when he was speaking.
I'm actually appalled. Advocate Manjunath, I think even the Congress people would not be able to defend the government the way you're defending them.
Can I please come in?
Please let Sanju make a point.
Sucharita, can I?
And let me have Shekhar Vijayan.
Our Congress people.
No, you keep getting him on air along with me, Sanju versus this. Obviously, he's making his nonsensical points. I did not interject. I need my time. Thank you. First and foremost, I refuse to speak, Sucharita, because you are getting him on air deliberately along with me to make sure that he heckles me. I will not take part in this debate.
Please, let Sanju make a point. Let's have Sanju and Shekhar Vijayan on screen. Let Sanju make a point.
Thank you. I don't want this shameless liar to be there on air along with me. Thank you. Let me give you the timeline of the event, Sucharita, very quickly in 30 seconds. The timeline establishes the culpability of Siddaramaiah, of DK Shiv Kumar, and the Congress government in Karnataka. I have the timeline which is there in the public domain, and this is also in the affidavit that was filed in the Karnataka High Court. 7:01 a.m. The RCB talks about a celebratory parade asking the people of Karnataka to come to Chinnaswamy Stadium.
Yes.
11 a.m. a promotional video is issued featuring Virat Kohli and is liked by Siddaramaiah and DK Shiv Kumar. At 2:10 p.m. in the afternoon, DK Shiv Kumar goes and receives Virat Kohli and the entire RCB team at the Bengaluru International Airport. And 1 minute, my final point. Do you know something? The first death of 13-year-old Devanshi was announced at 3:45 p.m. and the event got over only at 6 p.m. and the remaining 10 deaths were announced between 4:15 p.m. and 5:15 p.m., which means that by 5:15 p.m. Siddaramaiah was aware 11 people had died in the stampede, but celebrations continued till 6 p.m. DK Shiv Kumar was aware by 5:15 p.m. 11 people had been crushed to death in a tragic stampede, but celebrations did not stop. Selfies were being taken by Siddaramaiah and his grandson with Virat Kohli. Selfies were being taken by DK Shiv Kumar. And my final point, do you remember? On the day this event happened, Sucharita, they said 6,000 policemen were present there. Within 48 hours, they said, Siddaramaiah said, not 6,000, only 1,500 policemen were present. And Priyanka Khadge is on record saying, oh, Chinnaswamy Stadium has a capacity of 30,000, but 3 lakh people gathered. If 3 lakh people gathered outside the Chinnaswamy Stadium, were you caught snoozing at the wheel? What were you doing? Chinnaswamy Stadium and the distance between Vidhana Sauda is barely 15 minutes.
I don't understand. 5 police officers have been held accountable
Can I
for
answer
this.
that, please?
And the responsibility ends there.
21
And the
gates
responsibility ends there. I have to go to Shekhar Vijayan now. Shekhar Vijayan has been waiting for long. Shekhar Vijayan. Now, I'm sure everyone there in Bengaluru was waiting for this event. Now, there was also this whole news that there's going to be a parade in an open bus. That was cancelled because of security reasons. Still, people kept waiting. And now, as Sanju was saying, there were posts being sent out on social media as late as 3:15 p.m. Now, people obviously gathered seeing those posts. There was no end to those posts. So the RCB has to take responsibility. What were they doing?
So, Sucharita, thank you for having me over. I think first thing is we're talking about 11 deaths here. 11 deaths, 43 days, and there's been no respite, no response, right? Nobody's taking the accountability for this. Nobody's taking the responsibility for this.
True.
This is not the first time it's happening in India, right? We have had this in the past, and this was not planned well. We're talking about a team which is winning a trophy after 18 odd years, which is great. But the point is, the government was trying to take credit for this. There was obviously political tamasha here. It is so ironic, Sucharita. You know, at one point you see a photograph of, especially here as we talk, of Virat Kohli getting that Mysore peta, which the chief minister is giving him, and then you're blaming him, and then this report says that he's responsible for this. It purely shows they want to throw somebody under the bus except themselves. So, like my good friend Abbas was telling, with great power comes great responsibility. Like Spider-Man said, I think it's also imperative for the government to start taking responsibility, and we also have to look within as to why did this really happen. We have a stadium. I'm a resident of Bangalore. I've been to Chinnaswamy Stadium umpteen times. It's a very, very small stadium to accommodate so many people. The second thing is it is not ergonomically designed to handle so many people. The third thing is the police was understaffed there because of the celebration which happened the previous night. The fourth thing was we had a celebration which was happening at Raj Bhavan. So obviously political tamasha was happening. They wanted to take credit for this. There were selfies taken. Everything was taken. And are we telling in the day of social media, nobody knew that the deaths were happening, which is impossible. Deaths are happening inside. Stampede is happening inside.
Exactly.
So it makes absolutely no sense.
Exactly. Shekhar, that's the point.
There is no empathy from the government.
When the visuals started trickling in,
there is no accountability.
the most startling thing was this, that there were celebrations taking place inside and there was a stampede happening outside. So there was no alarm. There was no sense of urgency. The celebrations went on. So the responsibility needs to be taken. You cannot really shrug it away. Now, Syed Asad Abbas, Commodore GJ Singh wants to come in. Commodore, I just want to ask you, before I go to you, Syed, I'm coming to you. Commodore, it's something I really want to ask. The Bengaluru had been waiting for this trophy.
Can I answer
waited for 18 years. And I know the kind of excitement that people there in Bangalore had. Now, they will never be able to forget that day now.
Yes, true. You see, Skriti, I would like to bring altogether a different angle to have such a big crowd, there was an advisory issued by the government that the people should use the metro because there's no parking place. They should come the buses. If they want to control it, why couldn't they stop the services of the metro train or the buses? Buses continue to come in. Metro people continue to come till the last moment. And now the same government who allowed all this is denying, like when you see the daylight, you see the sun, you say, no, it is darkness, it is moon, it is not daylight. So they are seeing the truth. They know in their heart that they are at fault, but they are not ready to admit it. This is as simple as it can be. Manjunath is bringing in law. Law doesn't stand out here. It doesn't hold any water.
Can I answer this, Sucharita ji?
Yes, coming to you, sir.
The deputy chief minister, who are the captain of the ship. They are the captain of the whole state.
Asad, you're a Bangalorean. Why don't I see that kind of anger in you the way I see it in Commodore G.J. Singh or Shekhar Vijayan? You're a Bangalorean yourself. You should be holding the same anger.
That's what you are taken now.
Sucharita ji, you are absolutely right on the front. As a matter of fact, 43 days back when this happened, I was truly disheartened and I was disappointed and truly heartbroken being an RCB fan myself. In fact, I've met Commodore G.J. Singh Saab a couple of times during debates and events here in Bengaluru, and I know he resides in the vicinity. But let us put the facts and figures and statistics on the table here. Normally, when it is the metro here in Bengaluru MG Road station close to Kamanpa or the Chinnaswamy Stadium is taken, 6 lakh is the average footfall account which is taken. On the day of this incident, it was 9.36 lakh. Based on that, the report was made that there were more than 3 lakh people present there. This is absolutely unprecedented. The fact is, I agree with my dear fellow Bangalorean Shekhar
What did you
Vijayan, who said,
expect?
yes, there is just
Syed
one
Asad
minute.
Abbas, what did you
Just 1
expect?
minute,
Bangalore
Sucharita.
winning the trophy after 18 years. Virat Kohli being part of that entourage that is going to be there. What did you think? That people are not going to land up there? There will not be a crowd there? There had to be an arrangement in place. It wasn't there. Now the police saying we had not given permission. How did you even decide to manage an event without police permission being there and thinking that everything is going to be perfect?
I will answer that as per Justice Michael D. Khanna's report. The Judicial Commission, which was said by our Honorable Chief Minister Siddaramaiah ji. What does the report say? It gives us some damning revelation. It attributes the stampede to gross negligence, unprofessional planning, and a complete disregard for public safety by the Royal Challengers Bangalore.
Stupid arguments supporting Siddaramaiah,
the event organizers, and the Karnataka
as a Bangalorean. Instead of
Sanju
calling out
Verma
the
ji, please keep quiet.
incompetence of Siddaramaiah
Sanju
as a
Verma, I did not
Bangalorean,
speak when you
you're sitting
spoke.
here and
Sanju
trying to
Verma,
mollycoddle
do not
the
speak when
Congress
I am
government
speaking
for
now.
reasons best
Have
known
some
to
courtesy,
you.
ma'am.
I will not allow you
Have
to
some
get away with
courtesy.
your damn
Have
lies.
some courtesy,
The fact
ma'am.
of the matter is,
Ma'am, this is
Siddaramaiah
absolutely
is the
wrong.
Minister of the
You
State.
are just trying to politicize this.
That is alien to him.
With the deaths of the 11 people who have died. Sanju Verma ji,
He
have
makes Virat
some
Kohli a
courtesy to the people who have
scapegoat. He
lost
makes
their lives.
RCB a scapegoat.
If you want to politicize this, it's absolutely...
You know what? I just want to say that Bangaloreans wanted to remember this day. They wanted to keep this in their memory. And they will truly never be able to forget what happened. So don't stop calling this a mismanagement. This really was a failure of governance, and there's nothing. There's no getting away from it. There's no getting away from it. Thank you so much to all of you for joining me on this debate. And moving on. And moving on, ladies and gentlemen, Maharashtra, a state known for its rich culture, resilience and unity, is now grappling with a disturbing wave of hooliganism. From language disputes to petty arguments, from WhatsApp statuses to toll plaza vandalism, Maharashtra is witnessing a surge of violence driven by political vigilance who seem to have taken the law in their own hands. The ground reality paints a grim picture. Where is the police? Why is the government failing to rein in these goons? Let's debate.
From a language issue to a WhatsApp status or a minor argument, Maharashtra has witnessed spate of hooliganism incidents over anything and everything. In Mumbai's Vikhroli, a Rajasthani shopkeeper was assaulted by MNS workers over a WhatsApp status insulting Marathi-speaking people. MNS workers reached at his shop, confronted him and physically assaulted him. They demand a public apology to the entire Marathi community.
आणि तुम्हाला सगळ्यांना जाहीर सांगतो इकडे सगळ्या लोकांना की अशी जी लोक आहेत ना.
While the Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has assured action.
देखिए, मीरा रोड की घटना के तुरंत बाद एफआईआर भी दाखिल हुआ और कार्रवाई भी हुई है. इस प्रकार से कोई भाषा के आधार पर गुंडागर्दी करेंगे तो हमारी सरकार उनको छोड़ेगी नहीं, उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई करेगी. मैं वापस कह रहा हूं, स्वभाषा का अभिमान होना चाहिए, मातृभाषा का अभिमान होना चाहिए, पर उसको आगे करके अगर कोई गुंडागर्दी करेगा तो सहन नहीं किया जाएगा.
This is neither the first nor an isolated incident. Just days ago in Mira Road area of Thane district, a food stall owner was allegedly beaten up for not speaking Marathi. In Thane's Bhiwandi, MNS forced a non-Marathi rickshaw driver to apologize after a scuffle broke out between him and a Marathi youth.
एक पण महाराष्ट्रीय माणसाला हात लागला नाही पाहिजे, नाही तर हा हात तुझ्या कुठे लटकेल.
The rickshaw driver was threatened that if you try to touch a Marathi youth in future, then see where your hands will go. This hooliganism is neither restricted to a particular party nor reason. A few days back, Shiv Sena MLA Sanjay Gaikwad hurled abuses and slapped canteen staff in Mumbai over stale food. When asked on the same, he brazenly said that when someone fails to understand democratic language, then I have to use this language only. No action has been taken against him yet, despite assurances by the Chief Minister. MNS workers vandalized Tongao Toll Plaza on Akola Nanded Highway. The reason? Lack of facilities. And this video of an MNS leader, Javed Sheikh's son, has been going viral even now. Watch how half-naked, fully drunk on power and alcohol, how this VVIP brat, Rahil Sheikh, allegedly hits a woman's car and harassed her.
मनसे लोक तुम्ही लोक मराठी शिकवता रे लोकांना.
माझा बाप महाराष्ट्र राज्य उपाध्यक्ष आहे.
तुझा बाप महाराष्ट्राचा अध्यक्ष आहे. कोण? मनसेवाले. अच्छा, आणि तू दारू पिऊन माझ्या गाडीवर चढणार, गाडी ठोकणार. अच्छा, तुम्हाला शिव्या देतोयस. हा, गदे शिव्या दे. गाडीला ठोकलं. तू माझ्या गाडीला का ठोकलं?
ताई माफ कर.
माफ. तू आता बोललास माझा बाप कोण आहे मला. अरे मी थोडासा परप्रांती लोकांना साथ दिला तर काल 200 लोक माझ्या अंगावर आले. आज तू माझी गाडी ठोकतोयस, आपल्या बापाची धमकी देतोयस. तुम्हाला
माफ करा ना.
माफी नको आहे. तू दारू पिऊन गाडी का चालवतोयस? तू दारू पिऊन गाडी का चालवतोयस?
Why are political vigilantes taking over law and order? Why is the government and police letting goons take over cities?
Sanju Verma stays back on this debate tonight. Krishna Hegde, Deputy Leader and Spokesperson of the Shiv Sena, joins us. Also, Chandrasekhar Jha, Shiv Sena UBT spokesperson, joins us on the debate, and so does senior journalist Pankaj Sharma. Let me begin this debate by going to Chandrasekhar Jha. Chandrasekhar ji, let me say Jai Maharashtra, Jai Marathi. And if I could just ask you, because this is for all our viewers, when are we celebrating the Marathi Bhasha Gaurav Divas?
Let me tell you very frankly, the state is continuously failing to control the violence which is taking place in Maharashtra. Even yesterday also, one journalist was targeted. So eventually the state is giving assurance but could not take any damage control
Mr.
on
Jha,
this.
I said I want to begin this debate by saying Jai Marathi, Jai Maharashtra. And I want to ask you, when is the Marathi Bhasha Gaurav Divas celebrated in Maharashtra?
See, I don't know the exact date. I should admit that.
You do not know the exact date when the pride of Marathi language is celebrated in Maharashtra and official days been designated. But you want all non-Marathis to speak in Marathi, and if they do not know Marathi, they will be beaten up. Their shops will be vandalized. They will be threatened. And this is all happening in Maharashtra. And since you're part of UBT, you will have to take onus for what MNS Goons are doing. Because now both the brothers are on the same platform. Who takes onus, Mr. Jha?
The onus is on the state to stop it.
The onus is on the state. It's
Yes.
not on the goons who are threatening and actually vandalizing shops. It's not on them.
These actions are being taken upon provocation or some kind of insult to the Marathi language. And if those actions are there, the state should
Mr.
also take
Jha,
action.
this is precisely why I asked you that the party that is speaking of Marathi Gaurav is talking about the pride of Marathi language, does not know when the Marathi, the Gaurav Divas is celebrated, but they want all non-Marathis to be speaking in Marathi in Maharashtra. If they do not, and that does not mean that they are not respecting Marathi. It just means that they do not know the language. That they will be threatened. The episode that has happened now, Sanju, if I come to you, why are you letting the goons take all this place, all the prominence? They're everywhere. They're threatening people. They're beating them up. What is the state government doing? What is the BJP doing?
Okay, Sucharita, I'm glad you asked me that. And without trying to be politically correct, I am sitting here on live TV and saying I condemn what scuffle took place between the goons of Jitendra Awad and Gopi Chand Padalkar. I condemn the language used by Sanjay Gaikwad. I also condemn the antics of half-drunk and fully naked Rahil Javed Sheikh, son of MNS leader. So I'm not going to be using different yardsticks for different netas. But the fact of the matter is this, and by the way, I don't have access to Google currently, but 27th February is Marathi Bhasha Divas. And let me tell Mr. Jha one thing. You cannot selectively condemn MNS because some of their senior leaders, and I'm going to take names.
Sanju, the government cannot condemn. They need to take action. If you sitting there and condemning it, who's going to take the action? You're just going to condemn, and the action will be taken by somebody else.
Absolutely. No, Sucharita, let me finish. I'm coming to that. Like I said, the uncomfortable truth will not be shoved under the carpet. Yes, law and order is a state subject, and Devendra Fadnavis, by virtue of being the Chief Minister and the Home Minister of Maharashtra, has assured not once, not twice, but umpteen times that he will take action and do the needful, and the culprits will not be allowed to get away, irrespective of their political ideology. Devendra Fadnavis has said it in as many words. When the Chief Minister has assured, I don't think anybody else needs to sit and second guess. But very quickly, Sucharita,
but it's all going on, Sanju. It's not stopping. Every day an incident like this comes up. We're waiting for the action to happen. Okay. And now here Mr. Jha is saying the onus is on the government. You're saying we're condemning it but not taking action.
Let me just finish. Sucharita, let me please finish. I'm coming to that. Barely 6 to 7 hours back today, Mr. Fadnavis was asked two questions. A, will action be taken against goons irrespective of what their party affiliation is? He said yes. B, he was asked, will the three-language formula be applied? He said yes. All I know is it will be applied in toto, but I can't say whether the three-language formula will be applied from class 1, class 3 or class 6. We are waiting for the Narendra Jadhav committee's recommendations. These two things have been stated a few hours back by the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, but very quickly,
no.
Sucharita,
Sanju, you're waiting. No. What I'm trying to say is, you're saying it won't be brushed under the carpet, but you're doing exactly that. You can wait for recommendations to come, you can wait for reports to come, but action needs to be taken now. If we see an incident happening every day, this instills a fear in the minds of people who are non-Marathis, who do not know the language. And I don't know why this is happening. Now, Pankaj Sharma, if I'll just go across to him. Sanju, I'll come back to you. Let me just come back to you. Mr. Sharma, all I'm saying is there are people from different regions of the country who are staying in Maharashtra. Now, the MNS goons are on a rampage. They want to threaten, they want to beat up people. As now, Raj Thackeray and Uddhav Thackeray being on the same platform, I don't know if I can call them now. Raj Thackeray also somebody who's in alliance with now the Congress party as well, because he's with Uddhav now. What is happening? Why is the Congress party not speaking against it? Why are they so afraid of speaking against MNS, speaking against the UBT netas?
Because MNS is responsible.
Yes,
the hooliganism in the name of any language must be curbed by the governments of any political party in any state, including Maharashtra. See, this rowdyism by MNS workers, the violence, the verbal abuse should not be tolerated. How can MNS or anyone for that matter claim the ownership of Bombay or Maharashtra or on the Marathi language? See, I am not a Marathi speaking man, but I have read the translated works of Sant Gyaneshwar, Sant Tukaram, Sant Eknath, Sant Ramdas, Vishnu Sakharam Chandekar, Pulu Deshpande, Ranjit Desai, Vranda Karandikar, even Anna Bhav Sathe, Daya Pawar, Babu Rao Bakul. So those who are beating, humiliating, compelling non-Marathi speaking people to apologize on the streets, BJP is involved.
No, but Uddhav Thackeray is backing them, no? Uddhav Thackeray is backing them in a public platform, coming on stage together and saying, if I want to defend Marathi, if they call me a gunda, I'm ready to be a gunda. If they say this, if they think that I'm a gunda, then I will be called a gunda, is what he's saying. So what does that mean? You're standing with Raj Thackeray and you're saying this, and you know the background. So what are you trying to insinuate? You're trying to tell people that if you're not going to speak in Marathi, this is the beating you're going to get.
And why can't Congress condemn Uddhav Thackeray? ऐसी क्या मजबूरी है आपकी, Mr. Sharma? Rahul Gandhi और Uddhav Thackeray की दोस्ती इतनी ज्यादा
Uddhav Thackeray is promoting this, he should also be
दोस्ती तो बीजेपी और एमएनएस की भी थी.
The fact is, BJP is involved. BJP is prompting. BJP is promoting.
Just you condemn Uddhav Thackeray's goons. I have done that. Condemn Raj Thackeray's goons. I have done that. Devendra Fadnavis has also condemned Uddhav Thackeray and Raj Thackeray's gundas, and also
BJP is promoting is the allegation. The BJP is promoting is the allegation. Krishna Hegde, Mr. Hegde, the BJP is promoting, and Shiv Sena, Shinde wants to be part of that because there are BMC elections. So your own minister speaks against you, saying that MNS people are allowed to, if non-Marathis can stage a protest, why not MNS? So the minister is siding with MNS now. What is happening in Maharashtra? Mr. Hegde?
Let me tell you that Shiv Sena was formed to fight for the rights of the Marathi Manus and also the Hindus. And therefore, that is the ideology. This is the ideology, which was from our founder we have received, Sanmanya Hindu Hriday Samrat Bala Saheb Thackeray ji. However, having said that, let me tell you that if any incident of some kind has happened in our party, our party pramukh, top leader, Eknath Shinde ji, has clearly in the national executive spoken to all ministers, all MLAs and all leaders of the parties that such incidents should not be repeated. Otherwise, they are going to take stern action, and it may even cost them their jobs.
Sir, when will there... Sir, after which incident are you going to say that... Now, there have been so many incidents, sir. MNS workers vandalized a toll plaza. MNS workers assaulted a shopkeeper in Airol, Navi Mumbai for not conversing in Marathi. MNS goons assaulted a chemist in Pune for allegedly disrespecting Marathi language. Language imposition and... No, what I'm trying to say, so many incidents and you're still saying we will not tolerate it.
No. First, let me tell you what our party leader has told us and told us firmly.
Yes.
Secondly, let me come to the government stance and the government view on this. Wherever cases have been lodged, people have been arrested, and where the persons who have not lodged any cases, there we cannot take any action because cases have not been registered.
This is the incident we're talking about. This whole thing about the Rajasthani shopkeeper. He put in a statement, देख लिया राजस्थानी का power, हम मरवाड़ी हमारे सामने किसी की नहीं चलती है. I'm saying,
was he provoking the Marathi Manus or no? Please tell me.
No, you tell me. You think this is provocation?
I'm telling you that he was provoking the Marathi.
He was provoking. Okay. Now these kind of WhatsApp statuses, sir, tell me. All I'm asking is, I am sitting in the state of Uttar Pradesh. If I put in a status, देख लिया मराठी का power, Maharashtrian का power, हम मराठी लोग हमारे सामने किसी की नहीं चलती. If I put this in UP, will goons come and start threatening me? Will they start abusing me? Will they? No, I'm asking you. I'm just asking you. I'm just putting a hypothetical situation.
Yeah. See, the Marathi Manus is full of and rich of culture, and even he does not.
The people of UP are not.
No, all of them are. All of them are. Every religion and every caste and every state is proud of their language, and also Maharashtrians are proud of Marathi. Similarly, as UP people may be proud of Hindi, or Gujaratis may be proud of Gujarati.
No, sir, all I'm saying is half of them, these MNS, MNS workers, I began this debate by asking Mr. Jha about the Marathi Gaurav Divas, and why I said this was, a lot of these MNS workers would not know this, that their Marathi language has a day where it's being celebrated. But for the cameras, they want to go and threaten people, and this is all being done. Why? Because there is a BMC election. Sanju?
Sucharita, I want to just make one very quick point. And yes, Marathi Gaurav Divas is 27th February and Maharashtra official languages day is May 1st. This is for Mr. Jha. But on a more serious note, I always say this, that taking cognizance of the problem is, the first step towards resolving the problem. And I think the fact that the Chief Minister has now clearly said enough is enough, I think that's a categorical indication that no more vandalism will be tolerated. But Sucharita, one point I need to make. I have the guts to say, even if a BJP MLA is engaging in vandalism, jail ki salakho ke piche daliye, irrespective of political ideology. But I was shocked that this Rajya Sabha MP of Uddhav Thackeray's Sena, Priyanka Chaturvedi, was asked on another channel by an anchor, "Tumhala Marathi yete ka?" She says, "Ho, mala Marathi mahit ahe, पण माझी Marathi kamzor ahe." And in the same way, she says she supports imposition of Marathi. अरे मैडम, आपसे 3 वाक्य मराठी में बोले नहीं जाते, वो भी आप टेलीप्रॉम्प्टर देख के बोलती हो. But when Uddhav Thackeray's goons are beating up Biharis and Uttar Pradesh ke Nagarik, you have consumed Fevicol in wholesale. I think this is the hypocrisy that needs to be called out. And I have been staying in Maharashtra for the longest time. All I can say is, Marathi माणूस शांतता प्रिय असतात, त्यापैकी बहुतेक जण हिंदी बोलतात. राज ठाकरे आणि गुंडे यांच्या उद्धव ठाकरेच्या विनाशकारी गुण महाराष्ट्राच्या प्रतिनिधित्व करत नाही. Maharashtrians are peace loving, they speak Hindi, and Raj Thackeray and Uddhav Thackeray do not represent.
You're right, Sanju. Mr. Sharma, there are so many Maharashtrians who are coming in and saying that this is not us. We can't be beating up people. This is just a section of political workers who are doing this. We take pride in our language, everyone does, but this is not us.
Taking pride in a language is a different thing, but these people are language naxals. They are linguistic extremists. They are fanatics. They are lunatics. Anyone promoting them is involved in the heinous crimes of linguistic carnage. Let me tell you, I am afraid that radicalism will rather than make Marathi flourish, will convert Maharashtra.
Exactly, I agree. And it is important that all political parties speak against it. All political parties, because this is going to become a menace and it will be only affecting the poor people on the street. Thank you so much to all of you for joining me on the debate. And moving on. At 9 p.m. on the debate, Wall Street Journal repeats pilot blame theory without any proof. DGCA, Air India, silent on leaks.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most